Ladies and gentlemen, I am Paul, U.S. Army combat veteran, and today we're going to be taking a look at Russian tanks running into a Ukrainian minefield. And we're going to break down the tactics that these tanks use and what they should be doing when you run into a mined area. Let's get into it. So obviously, guys, viewer discretion is advised, but to the YouTube folks, I have checked this out. This is only vehicles being destroyed. No people at all appear in this video. Okay, so what do we have here? Let's break it down for a sec. As you can see, there is a main thoroughfare here, and it looks like there is significant debris in the road. This looks like the ruins of another tank that looked like it got hit by an anti-tank weapon system. And I say that because you can see here that there's almost no debris in this side of the tank, but to this side there's a large damage area that seems to have the debris projected out this way, which says to me that in all likelihood Ukrainian forces ambushed that tank from this angle here. Now, the tankers are obviously veering into the field and moving down this road to avoid this obstacle. They may actually believe, and this was a not uncommon tactic among Iraqi and Afghan insurgents, but especially Iraqi insurgents, would be to actually mine the road with an IED, destroy a U.S. vehicle, and then have additional secondary devices planted on the above, like on the north, or like up and down the road, so that when other units came to recover the damaged vehicle, they would themselves run into additional IEDs. Oftentimes, recovery requires heavier vehicles, mechanics, medics, ambulances, so you could get a lot of quote-unquote soft targets by placing these secondary devices. So these tankers, understanding that there's a risk of secondaries, are moving into this open field here, and they are going to start to push down the road, not really recovering this other tank. But you can see here the lead tank is pushing fast down this field. You can see here, it looks like there is a crater from another mine, and you can see just how much artillery has been just thrown into this area. So he is rolling along this minefield, and there is the hit. Now I want you to bear in mind, guys, that when you see an explosion like this, especially if you're inside a vehicle, right, the other tank crews that have watched this, they don't know for sure that what they hit was a mine. They could be a mortar round, it could be an anti-tank weapon that they just didn't see the discharge from, it could be artillery. So their response may have to be general, and they may not know for sure what they've hit. It's also possible the crew in here is radioing to the other tanks and saying, hey, we've hit a mine, but they themselves may not know for certain that this is what they've encountered. So watch what we see here. All right, you notice first off, these tanks are just starting to get awareness. The crews are realizing that their lead tank has been destroyed. You can see here they are trying their best to stay right in the tracks of the other tanks. So they probably have a sense that the risk of mines are significant here. So they're basically just rolling in the area that they know is secure inside the previous tank's treads. All right, so now it flashes forward what looks like several minutes. So you can see here the Russian tanks here and here are still within that area that they feel pretty certain is clear, right? They are right in the tread lines of this lead tank, right? That obviously didn't get hit until it made it all the way to this point. So what they've done is they're pulling security, and they're doing that by angling themselves out, right? This makes it a little bit harder to hit with artillery, and if artillery does show up, they can both hit the gas and scatter in opposite directions, right? This is also meaning that they have different broadsides. So if Ukrainian anti-armor forces were to position themselves along that tree line, they might have a good shot on this tank's backside but this tank would be facing them. So you see how just putting this little bit of an angle on your tanks can actually really improve your security situation. So these two tanks are pulling security. They are watching out for enemy. This tank is probably going to engage in what's called recovery operations. It's going to get nice and close. It's going to extract the crew, treat any injuries, and if possible, hook up and tow the damaged tank. But it is extra hard in this environment because literally anywhere but this track is at risk of being mined. So they certainly have their work cut out for them, and they cannot be slow in this. Guys, thanks so much. This was a quick one, but it was a really interesting one. I hope you guys learned something about how Russian forces are reacting to mine attacks, artillery, IEDs. I think they are getting better. They are learning and refining their tactics. I think we've seen more videos where the tank crews appear to respond appropriately to threats. Also, if you want me to break down the videos that are too spicy for YouTube, what you want to do is become a member of the Patreon. Thanks so much to my Lieutenant tier patrons. You guys make this possible. Link is in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one.